Been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
EG remains my name, and I'm so happy to be here because I know someone is there listening to me, and of course will be listening to all that we have in the studio this lovely Monday morning. And today again happens to be the 28th of August 2023, and of course the Mondays gradually coming to an end, and I bet you it's gonna be very well, and it's gonna be fine to all of us as Nigerians and of course the world over. In the studio of Unity, now 3.3 FM this morning, I have my brother Danjuma Samuel Abel. I'll let him say good morning to you.
Good morning, viewer, and thank you for joining us on Unity Train this morning. We assure you, you get a good ride all through, because as I always say, without you, there is no us. We appreciate you, viewer.
Oh, thank you again. I love it when the Juma emphasize more on our viewers. This is because Unity Train has assumed another dimension. We were formerly on radio, hooked by TV, but this time we are on TV, hooked by the radio station of Unity FM. And so in the studio this morning, I still have an in-house analyst and public commentator, if you let me, public analyst, and of course a political scientist. I'm talking about Shaibu Doro. Mr. Shaibu, good morning.
Thank you, Kulbi. Good morning, viewers. It's a pleasure being with you this morning. We look forward to an interesting interface.
Oh, mine. And so we'll just go straight to see what is obtainable on our national dailies, and that's what we have to do on this segment of Unity Training. This morning, let's begin by going through this one, just so to caution or to draw attention to what could be very deadly. That is on the punch, and it says Cameroon Dam opening, evacuations to prevent death. Federal government states warn flood-prone communities. Before we take the main headlines this morning, I want us to talk a bit about this because it has to do with lives, and destructions of lives and property. So if we would talk about it this morning, probably it would get to have some people prepared and then probably to save themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. So Shaibu?
Yeah. What's the...
Okay, regarding the flood, the news that came up late yesterday is caution to residents that they should vacate those prone areas because they've been stated. In fact, Plateau State is one of the states that could be affected by this flood. Plateau, Nasarawa. So IDP camps too are also opened by governors. The National Agency for Management Agency said they sent message to the governors, so it is left for the governors to take action. We want to plead with the governors to take drastic action, because in most cases you see that until things happen before we begin to they call it fire brigade approach. Definitely. We shouldn't do that. Now that NEMA has alerted the governors, I want to believe the governors will not rest on their oars. They should take measures immediately, especially the camp for the internally displaced persons, so that these people in the prone areas will move immediately to the IDP camps. Now it will be left to the residents. If you don't move, if anything happens, you have yourself to blame. And then others that are not mentioned in these prone areas, please, we need to look at our gutters. A lot of areas, if you go, the gutters are blocked. Water don't have runways to move. At the end of the day, you see buildings falling down. I remember recently in Nasarawa State, along the roundabout after the Federal University, flood came. In fact, the road was blocked that day. There was no road to Akwai, no road to Makurdi. The residents barricaded that roundabout after Federal University, Fulafia, because of the effect of the flood.
Definitely.
That was even before this serious warning came. So I want to plead with the residents this morning that we shouldn't just wait on government, and we shouldn't wait that until our area is mentioned. We should take care of our drainages, we should clean the gutters and help ourselves before any damage will befall us.
If I were to, if I must add to that, I think the whole issue is actually systemic. Systemic because I think we somehow have failed to plan, the settlement pattern. This is the issue. People build houses indiscriminately, build structures indiscriminately, and I think this is what the whole idea of town planning actually is supposed to mean. It should actually mean that, there are designated places for hospitals, designated places for schools, designated places for marketplaces and all of that. Well, maybe because of the poverty phenomena and other economic challenges, it may not be feasible to expect that to happen. But at the end of the day, again, natural disasters don't care. Whether you are poor or not. This is the issue. If you don't plan, your settlement pattern, you will continue to be susceptible to some of these, disastrous, occurrences and all of that. This is the issue, and I think too that the government itself, which has always drawn attention to, which has always drawn attention to, pending flood situations and things like that, seems to have only repeatedly paid lip service to the entire issue. This is it. If you're asking state governors to, see what they can do to, prevent, flooding and things like that in certain areas, what measures are you taking as a national government to support, those state governments to be able to do that? Because state governments will tell you that they already have too much, on their plate. They are talking about salaries, they are talking about infrastructure, they are talking about a whole lot of issues, and all of that. So they will usually tell you that, look, if we, are to, for example, move, residents of a certain area to another area, it's something that is going to be, cost intensive. It's going to cost a lot of money, and they will always tell you that they are at the moment not financially prepared, to be able to do all those kinds of things. And so I think at the end of the day, it's actually, a systemic problem. But I think, like Samuel has said, there are things we can do on our part, as citizens, to be able to checkmate, the effects of some of these things. The advice has always been given. Even this issue of monthly sanitation is something that citizens don't want to take seriously. And I think that, these are some of the, things that have, always given, rise to some of these recurrent, natural disasters and things like that. People don't want to clear drainages. People build houses on waterways and things like that. And when you build houses on waterways, you are putting yourselves in harm's way, because when, a flood comes, it's just going to wash away, your house and probably including you and children and all of that. This is the issue. So I think at the end of the day, the approach has to be collective or holistic. On the part of government, I think we need to actually be proactive. Most times you discover that we only wait until disasters happen before we begin to run helter-skelter looking for what we can do to, support victims and things like that. I think we actually need to be proactive. A lot of times when state government insists on restoring master plans, it's something that, has always never gone down well. We know with citizens in states and all of those issues. Even here in Plateau State, I do remember, a few years ago when then Governor June Jang attempted to restore, the master plan of the city, as a result of which, certain, structures had to be demolished and all of that. All sorts of religious and ethnic imputations, were actually injected into the whole issue, which actually, undermined the entire project and all of that. And just then, a certain flood actually happened in Gangare that claimed lives and properties and all of that. So I think it's a holistic issue. While government has a part to play, as citizens we also must see what we can do to actually, mitigate the effect of some of these recurrent, incidences.
Okay, still talking about what natural disaster can actually do. Recently we have this report that has to do with Shandam here in Plateau State, total breach. The breach known as total breach in somewhere in Shandam.
Yes.
Also because of heavy rainfall, and that has led to a destruction of that breach. And so that too can cause, like you said in your words, you said, whether we prepared or not. Yes, of course, natural disaster will not just stop being there. Nature will not stop being there because you are prepared, you're not prepared, whatever. All right, moving away from that.
I would like to add a little to what he said. I think the governors should not have excuses, because it is said in democracy, government is for the people and by the people. So I think the problem of the people should be the governor's first priority, because if the people are not safe, who are you paying the salaries to? Who are you doing these other things for? I think the governors should take drastic action, just like Bayelsa governor is calling on federal government to come to their rescue. I think all these governors in these affected areas should immediately call for help, so that they will not have any excuse. Because if your citizens or the people in your state die, who are you going to govern?
Definitely.
So they should take drastic action immediately, but the people should also hearken to the warnings. They should relocate.
Beautiful.
Because there are serious warnings right from day before yesterday that they should move from these prone areas. Don't relax, don't be too comfortable, but please, the government should make this IDP camps available immediately. I will run through some of these states immediately before you move, Kogi.
Yes.
We have Adamawa, we have Taraba, we have Kogi, we have Benue, we have Nasarawa, Plateau and others, but these are the red states. If I may mention that, should take drastic action.
Denjima, for us on the plateau, even if there was no any opening of any dam from the Cameroon, we have always experienced such natural disaster, where you have farm produce, being destroyed in areas like in Mangu. You had the same thing, in Shandam, and now even this year is already coming, and so with now again opening of this dam from all the way from Cameroon, it's going to do a lot of harm if care is not taken.
And it is said it will be worse than that of last year. Last year there were a lot of damage, but now this will be worse.
It's going to be worse.
So let's do the needful, and so we call on this platform that the government should do the needful and should do it urgently. And moving away from that, and I'm sure this issue will be coming in time after time, because our discussion today somehow will dominate by this. And so let's just move into this one that has to do with it says servicing debt with 90% of revenue, path to destruction. Tinubu. Now you have this to say, path to destruction. I just feel path to destruction.
Yes.
As Nigerians, the hardship we're going through to us is a path that is leading to destruction because of a lot of cases of suicides and so on and so forth. And if, again, we're having a headline that has to do with path to destruction, and you begin to wonder which other paths of destruction.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, I think, like you did say, this is one issue that has actually been recurrent, and I think it's heartwarming that President Tinubu himself has admitted that it could actually, be a recipe to, for disaster if something is not actually done to make that. And I'm also glad that he's speaking in his capacity as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is actually in the best position to actually do something to reverse this particular situation at the moment. And I think it's common knowledge that the country's debt profile is not palatable. It's something you don't even want to think about, because the country is hugely indebted. And the point we have always made here is that there's nothing wrong with borrowing money. I think it's standard economic practice, and no country is an island. No country is self-sufficient. So I think the emergence of the World Bank and the IMF are deliberate. The idea is to support countries to be able to push aggressive economic policies, and be able to guarantee good living conditions for their citizens and things like that. This is the issue. Although when you talk about borrowing and whatever unsavory or adverse economic effect it might have had or it may be having on the economic development of countries, the World Bank, the IMF, and other such institutions also have their own share of the blame. But most times, I think a large chunk of the blame actually goes to respective countries themselves. This is the issue. Now, as we speak, and I'm sure that is what informed Tinubu's confession that servicing the country, country's debt with 90% of revenue is actually a path to destruction. This is the issue. I mean, why do you have to borrow money, every time to spend on things that don't even generate revenue, and then you end up confessing that you are hugely indebted and that you are using 90% of your annual budget to service debt and things like that? What are you doing as a government to make sure that is not the case? This is the issue. Even when President Tinubu was actually planning to go and borrow $800 million from the World Bank, and then he wrote to the Senate, to the National Assembly, seeking approval, to go ahead. Not just here, citizens, observers, and critics actually, didn't support the whole idea because it was going to actually worsen the country's debt situation, and all of that. But Tinubu did not relent. The National Assembly, being what it is, unhesitantly approved the loan request, and then President Tinubu went ahead, and this is the issue. And so if you're continuing to borrow and borrow and borrow, there's no way you will not actually be in this kind of mess, that Nigeria is in at the moment. Statistics seem to suggest that at the moment the country's debt to revenue ratio is 90%. Debt to revenue ratio is a yardstick that economists use to measure how much a country earns, on annual basis, and how much it actually spends on servicing debt and things like that. Ordinarily, for developing countries like Nigeria, debt to revenue ratio is not supposed to exceed 20%. In other words, what you spend on servicing debt as a country shouldn't exceed 20% of your, total revenue for a particular fiscal year. But that is not the case in Nigeria. If you earn 10 naira, on annual basis, for example, as an individual, and then you spend 9 naira out of 10 to pay debt, how much are you left with? This is the issue. At the moment, the country is being faced with myriads of economic problems and all of that. There's hunger, there's inflation, there's poverty, there's unemployment, there's insecurity, all sort of issues. And so if we are actually diverting 90% of annual budget into debt servicing, how much are we left with for infrastructure, for poverty alleviation, for job generation, for insecurity, and all of these issues? That's what we're saying. And then in addition, the World Bank itself has issued, I think, a warning, to the effect that the country needs to do something to actually augment, its revenue. Otherwise, it will be running out of. It will not be able to borrow any more money. This is the issue. The World Bank, borrowing benchmark is I think 40%. In other words, you can't borrow more than 40%. If out of 100, your borrowing should not actually exceed 100%. At the moment, I think with the debt to revenue ratio already hitting 90%, I think we're already running out of borrowing space. Because according to some reports, the country's borrowing space, the country's borrowing has hit about 39% at the moment. This is the issue, 39% or thereabout. And so I think we are not in a good situation economically. And what to do will be to find ways to diversify income so that we don't have to keep relying on external debt.
Okay, that's good. That's good. You don't seem to have problem with a country borrowing, but that the country should borrow, but use it in such a way that it will gain more, have benefits.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yesterday, the president spoke at the annual national conference of the Nigerian Bar Association. That was where he raised the issue of servicing debt. there is debt, there is borrowing debt, and there is paying back debt, and there is servicing debt. Now we're using 90% of our income, the revenue, to service debt. Tinubu yesterday says his major priority is to see that the life of an ordinary Nigerian is improved. He was particular about light. He said there is no power. These monies can be used to improve the life of the citizen, to improve the life of an ordinary Nigerian, not to be servicing debts. He said sometimes action needs to be taken, even though it will hurt, but it needs to be taken. That's my take on that.
All right. Very quickly, because our time is fast spent already, and so let's just move to the next headlines. This one says, I have issued no official statement regarding my NYSC saga, Musawa. You know, this issue has been on, and then people are beginning to wonder why is it that she has scaled through, you know, the screening, the Senate, without having to bring up this issue until now. And so that's the issue, yes.
From what you said she has not issued any official statement. Yesterday I read a document somewhere which she signed purportedly. In that document, Musawa said she has not gone against any laws of the land as a youth corps member because she's serving. She was supposed to have served in 2001, but she said due to family pressure, she was not able to serve. She was now redeployed, and she's already done 8 months. From the purported letter released yesterday, she said she decided to do what is needful. Why will Nigerians take it against her now? And then that she has not contravened any laws of the land, that in the law there's a constitution part that was quoted that there is no law that says a serving corps member should not be appointed either in federal or state or any capacity. That maybe the federal government will respond to that, but
yes, we'll follow
it is confirmed that she is serving, and the NYC has also confirmed that.
Yes,
well, I think there's a lot, you know, there's much more than what meets the eye. As far as this whole issue of Hannatu Musawa is the country's current serving minister for culture, tourism, and, you know, creative economy. She's been appointed recently by President Bola Tinubu, you know, and just after her appointment, you know, reports began to, you know, surface or emerge that she's still a youth copper, you know, and that she's not even done with youth service and all of. So the question has been, you know, how come she's found herself in that capacity? How come the issue was not even raised during her screening, you know, by the Senate and all of that? This is the issue. So there have been calls for her to vacate the office, for her to resign voluntarily until the issue is sorted out, and things like that. People would have seemed, I mean, people seem to be making reference to the case of then Minister of Finance under President Jonathan, what's her name? Adeoshun, who also found herself in a similar situation and therefore decided to resign voluntarily and all of that. This is the issue. But then, what is even the story? What's the background to this whole controversy? Now, Hannatu Musawa has said that she has not issued any official statement, you know, to that effect, you know. But reports seem to be indicating that there seems to have been some, you know, some sort of carelessness and complacency on the part of Hannatu Musawa, as a result of which she's found herself in this mess. In 2001, she was said to have been deployed to Akwai, you know, where she did her orientation, which of course she did not complete. And for certain reasons, you know, inexplicable reasons, reasons that I don't even know, reasons that I can't even find in any of the stories I've read concerning this issue.
She said family pressure.
Yeah, well, that's what she well, I don't know, but she actually says she hasn't issued any statement. So where is that one actually coming from? You know, you can see some contradiction. This is the issue. So she relocated to Kaduna to complete her NYSC. But you know, the funny thing here is that the NYSC claims that even in the report they released this morning, they said after searching the NYSC register for Kaduna, for 2001, which is the year she was actually, or she claimed to have relocated to Kaduna to complete her service, her name was not actually found there, And so if her name was not on the register of coppers who were supposed to serve in that year for Kaduna State, what then is supposed to be the story? Where is her name? This is the issue. So there are lots and lots of issues. Now the NYSC later said that after searching thoroughly for Hannatu Musawa's name and all of that, her name was actually eventually found. But before that actually happened, before NYSC later said that her name was found, Hannatu Musawa had actually written, a letter to the NYSC, to release her NYSC certificate, to give her a fresh NYSC certificate, because the one she had been given had actually been, was one of the properties burnt in her house, sometimes in 2019. In her residence in Asokoro and all of that, so you can see there are contradictions here and there. The NYSC at the point said her name was not on the register for 2001 in Kaduna State. You understand? On her part, Hannatu Musawa did say that her NYSC certificate had been released by the NYSC, right? But it was burned, alongside some other properties in her residence in Asokoro, sometimes in 2019. This is the issue. Then the NYSC later said that her name was actually found.
No, but if you look at it carefully,
this is the issue.
2001, she was not mobilized to Kaduna. She was mobilized to Akwai Ibom. I want you to take note of that.
No, what I said was, I think I did mention that. Yeah. Hannatu Musawa said she was, deployed to Akwa Ibom to serve, right? But she did not according to the NYSC, she didn't complete her NYSC in Akwa Ibom. She only did her orientation camp in Akwa Ibom and relocated to Kaduna State, where she was supposed to complete her NYSC. You understand? This is the issue. And then she gave the reason that she had to relocate to Kaduna State for certain reasons that had to do with family pressure, family issues, and all of that. This is the issue. But upon searching for her name on the NYSC register for Kaduna State, her name was not actually there. This is the issue.
And then
in fact, the stance that the NYSC is taking now is that Hannatu Musawa did not complete. Okay, if she has completed her NYSC and all of that, what is she actually doing now?
No, listen.
Just a minute, please. We have to round up this segment. Okay, a minute, please.
8 months ago, that was when she went to commence her service. Now, the current government have not been elected 8 months ago. She took that initiative because she felt she has not done it. I want us to treat this case with...
Okay, if she hasn't done it, right?
Yes,
if she hasn't done it, which certificate did she claim was burned in her flat, in her residence in Asokoro in 2019?
Doro, thank you very much.
That is the question I'm asking.
And we continue to follow on these developments, and so thank you so much. At this point, we've come to the end of this segment, but I beg that you stay tuned on Unity 93.3 FM and of course TV. The discussions and other things continue after the short time out. Thank you.
Ka sani, na sani, kin sani, mun sani baki ɗaya cewa yanzu rayuwa ta canza. Komai na rayuwa ya ƙara tashin goron zafi, musamman farashin kayayyakin masarufi. Saboda haka dole sai mun yi haƙuri da junanmu. Kai mai gida ka kyautata, ke kuma uwar gida ki haƙuri. Ba lallai dole sai an ci abinci da nama ba. Idan har Allah ya hore an iya samun hatsin ma da za a ci ciki ya tashi, to a ci. Lokaci ne ya zo. In aka yi haƙuri wata sai labari. Ba gidanka ne kaɗai ake matsin rayuwa ba, wallahi gidaje da yawa ma kafi su. Saboda haka mu kasance masu godiya Allah. Mata mu yi haƙuri. Yanzu ne mazajen mu suke buƙatar mu ƙara musu ƙarfin gwiwa, mu fahimce su. Mu kuma maza mu ma mu gane cewa mata suna haƙuri, mu dinga musu adalci. Yau in baka samu ba gobe ka samu, ya nuna a gidanka cewar an samu. Ba wai ka maƙe abinka ka fita ka ci mai daɗi, su a gida ka basu da wahala ba. Allah ka fitar da mu daga cikin wannan hali.
Unity TV.
Domin warware zare da abawa, haɗa da samun ingantaccen sharhi daga masana game da batutuwan da suka shafi al'ummar Najeriya kai tsaye ta ɓangarori mabambanta da suka haɗa da mulki.
Wani tsari ya tanadar da mutum zai zama shugaban ƙasa?
jagorancin shugabanni.
In ba son zuciya ba, ka yi doka na cewa kai a matsayinka na gwamna bayan ka tattara duk abubuwan da ya kamata a ce ka tattara.
Siyasa.
Kudin ai a zaben shugaban kasa shi zai fi ma tasiri, su suke da manyan kudade a hannunsu.
Bangaren ilimi.
Kowa ma abin ya shafa ba mutum ɗaya ba.
Kiwon lafiya.
Cutan fuka.
Tattalin arziki.
Takardan kuɗi 1000 kai kwana 2 kwana 3.
Harkar tsaro.
Wani lokaci za a faka motoci za ka ga har 2 suna nan gefe da gefe hakan nan.
Da ma sauran batutuwa da ke faruwa na yau da kullum. Kasance da tashar Unity TV da ke kan Badarsat a cikin shirin mahangar Unity a duk ranakun Litinin, Laraba da ma Juma'a da misalin karfe 7 na dare. Unity TV, murya cikin nazari.
Shi yabo wata hanya ce ta ƙara ƙaimi ga mutumin da ya maka abu domin gaba ma in zai yi maka ya ƙara jin daɗi don ya maka. Haba uwar gida. Ya fita ya sha rana ya wahala ya kawo kin karɓa kin jefar ko kin ajiye ba tare da kin ce mishi na gode kin yaba kin nuna kin ji daɗi ba. Ta ya za a yi gobe in ji daɗin yi miki abu bayan yau na kawo miki ban ga hakan a fuskarki ballace na har bakin ki ya furta ya ce min na gode ba. Don haka mata mu kasance masu yaba abu komai kankantar shi, kama kasance masu yin la'akari da abin da akwai wace don kamun kaza ai mijin wane ma ya mata abin da ya fi haka. A'a ki yaba mishi. Wallahi gobe idan ana sai da duniya ya gani zai kawo miki domin ya ga yadda zaki wannan farin cikin ki nuna. Da haka shi abu komai kankanta shi yabawa ake, gobe hakan zai sa a ga babba a miki ke ma ki ji daɗin shi. Mata mu hankalta.
Unity TV.
Ba komai ake nema kuma a samu ba a lokacin da ake neman.
So much for still being there with us on Unity 93.3 FM and of course TV. You'll be live with us if you just check around, and so it's lovely already. And then this is the segment with which we get to bring up a topic and then we discuss at length. And in the studios of Unity 93.3 FM this morning, Danjuma is in the studio. And Danjuma, if you don't mind, let me say good morning to you.
Good morning once again. Good morning to our listener and our viewer this morning.
Yes, of course, again in the studio this morning, I have our guest to discuss a topic, Honorable Bala Mazu Jingyar. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning.
Honorable is here this morning, and we'll be discussing, issues that relates to the ceiling of local governments on the plateau. It has been for quite some time now, and the issue is on the ground. Well, not just the ceiling of the 17 local governments on the plateau, but of course to see to local government autonomy and their freedom and all that. That's what we'll be looking at this morning. And so our guest, we'll just begin with you. We'll let you just tell us how do you assess relationship between the local government and state government generally. What would you say it is?
Well, good morning, viewers. Truly speaking, the issue of our relationship between the local government and state is a little bit cordial. Cordial in the sense that considering the how local government was created, if you can see,
Honorable,
Nigeria.
Honorable, you need to speak up so we get it clearly.
Okay. Thank you. You see, looking at Nigeria as a country, we are operating a federal system of government where we have at least 3 tiers of government. We have the federal, state, and local government. And for the fact that we have 3 tiers, you find out that the federal is autonomous, the state is autonomous, so also the local government is not autonomous. Local government are directly under the states. So it is the state that controls the local government. So it is expected that local governments has supposed to be independent of it, so that it can be able to operate on its own without any hindrance or without any control by the state. So looking at the relationship that exists, you find out that for you to come on board as a local government chairman or as a local government councillor, you must have to pass through the state, because it is the state that establish the structure, the composition, the finances of the local government. So with that, you find out that there is a kind of a control that exists by the state on the local government, of which the ideal situation is supposed to be that the local government is supposed to be independent of it, so that it should be able to make contract, award contract, execute projects, because as you can see, the president is having the mandate of Nigerians. So also the governor has the mandate of the citizen of his or her state. And it is expected that the chairman too is supposed to have the mandate of his people at the local government. So there is need for the chairman to at least have project that has a direct bearing based on the yearning and aspiration of his people at the grassroots.
Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable. You know, as a politician and of course an observer, now the issue of sealing the local government secretariat in Plateau State, of course the 17 local government secretariat, and of course the suspension of the 17 local government chairmen and the attempt, you know, installations of transition, you know, people who take over affairs of the local government council. You know, what do you make of that, Honorable?
You see, I look at it as highly political, and it's undemocratic, and it's unconstitutional. Unconstitutional in the sense that, you see, I look at it as if it's like a coup at the local government level. You see, it is the constitution that makes provisions that for local government to have its local officials, its chairman or councillors, there should be a kind of election, duly conducted, organized, and sponsored and conducted by the state. So that has been done by the previous administration. Now that looking at the chairmen that are on the democratically elected chairman of the council are the product of APC, while the government that come is PDP. So that is where the problem comes up.
Before I let Danjuma ask you the next question, you had mentioned of the government of Plateau State at the moment is PDP,
yes,
and the then was APC.
Exactly.
Now, do you think if it were that it's a PDP, now do you think they would have been there?
Yes, you see, that's why I said it's highly political. Political in the sense that if you look at it very well, governor that was elected was under the platform of PDP.
Yes.
And he came and see the local government chairman are APC.
And
so you see, this thing happens in not just Plateau. It happens in Kano, it happens in Benue. These are very good examples. You see, Benue, the sitting governor today is APC, but the council chairman that he came and saw them on ground are PDP.
So you see,
he made an attempt to remove them.
So you see,
out of office. So along the line, the constitution says no. There's no provision that says you can just remove the council chairman that were democratically elected.
Okay, you think the government of Plateau State at the moment seem to perceive the local government, the duly elected local government chairman, the suspended local government chairman, as, you know, perceive them as political adversaries. Is that what you're saying?
You see, the issue of, like in the case of Plateau State,
yes,
find out that there was a kind of recommendation from the State House of Assembly that they invited the council chairman, the elected chairman, to come and present the income and expenditure of their spending in the local government. Some presented their own and some didn't. So as a result of that, they made a recommendation to the governor that this council chairman should be suspended pending when the investigation will be concluded. And he granted that recommendation, and that was a kind of resolution from the State House of Assembly.
Oh, thank you very much. Benjamin.
Honorable.
Yes.
When you started, you said, if I got you clearly, you said there's cordial relationship between the local government chairman and the state government. Am I right?
Right.
But you not long ago said it was a coup. Can you relate this relationship and the coup you are talking about? That's one. Secondly, this local government chairman, I want to believe is tenure that they run. There is a specific period they are supposed to stay in office before their tenure elapses. This APC local government chairman they are talking about, when is their tenure supposed to elapse? I would like you to answer those two questions before I proceed.
You see, ideally, as I've said, the issue of coup that I've said from the beginning is highly political.
Okay, coup from which of the angles? From the government angle?
That is the suspension of or truncating the democratically elected local government chairman and their councillors.
Okay.
Yes. And the other, the second
the cordiality of the relationship you mentioned from
the ideal situation is that if they are on the same umbrella, that is not PDP versus APC, or APC versus PD or whatever, you find out that there is always that kind of relationship. Because why do we have this, the issue of joint account? Because the funds that comes from federal doesn't go through directly to the local government. It must pass through the states. So you can see the cordiality. And you see the issue of projects. For you to have a project, you must have to go to the state for approval. So all these ones are kind of cordial relationship that exists between the state and the local government. So projects that is a little bit higher or bigger, you cannot just execute project at the local government unless you seek permission from the state through the Ministry of Local Government and Citizenship Affairs.
So based on what you just said now, that means you cannot read the cordiality between the government and the local government, the state government and the local government, because there is no any form of relationship. If I can get clearly, Mutfang suspended the local government chairman as soon as he assumed office. So there was no issue of contract or any form of relationship for now that can be rated. So when is their tenure supposed to end?
It's supposed to end, they still have about 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, 2 months, I mean.
Oh, for their tenure to
yes, to elapse, yes.
Okay, now, just...
They still have at least more than a year.
Okay. Just 2 days ago, or 48 hours ago, thereabout, the police gave an order that the local government secretariat should be unsealed so that work will resume. But yesterday midnight, Norgay instructed the local government employees to embark on an indefinite strike. You are talking of politics. How does this play out now? Is Norgay taking side with one against the government, or they are in support of the government, or is police also part of the politics that is being played? Why is police saying local government should open and work should resume, and Norgay immediately responded by saying employees should go on strike?
We see on the issue of the sealing of the local government that was carried out by the police, you see, that is to tell you that police as an institution cannot just seal the local government without any reasons.
Without any reason?
Yes.
Even if there is no peace?
You see, no, I'm not saying there is no peace. What I'm saying is that, you see, there is a kind of court order that says the council chairman should go into their office and go about their normal activities in their various offices pending the judgment of the court. There is a court order. And the other side of the story says, no, lest the transition should go and operate in the office of the local government chairman. So there is a kind of contradiction. That was why the police must have to come in order to arbitrate. So in an event like that, for you to take a final judgment or take decision, you have to make a research. You will have to make your findings. It is the findings of the police that says, okay, let everybody stop coming to the office until the investigation is concluded. Now that the investigation that is concluded, that's why they are saying to, based on our findings, made to understand that the local government chairman should go back to their offices and continue with their normal work. And on the issue of labor, you see, everybody is entitled for his own opinion. Everybody has his own way of presenting his grievances. Well, I don't know their problem because I'm not a government worker, but they know their problem, best known to them. And they know their ways of finding their solutions to some of their challenges or some of their shortcomings that are facing their various offices. So maybe taking this decision, bold decision, by going to an indifference, maybe will solve their problem. But I don't know.
Okay, what you are saying now is that, because if I remember clearly, like just not local government here, when the local government chairmen were suspended and asked to stay at home and transition committee brought in, if I can remember clearly, the local government chairman for Just Not came to office the following day. That alone is enough for police to come in. That means police did their job.
That is it.
While you were speaking, you said this particular issue of local government and state government feud was not only a Plateau state issue. It happened in different states. You mentioned some states.
Yes.
Can you please tell me, in relation to the same issue here, how was it resolved? Did the court order that the local government chairman be returned, or the transition government that was brought in by the governor-elect were left? Can you relate it, please?
Okay. Like in the case of Kano that I've said earlier on, you see, Kano state governor did not make any attempt to suspend or to truncate any democratically elected local government in the state.
Okay.
But if we go to Benue, you find out that he made an attempt, and he even suspended all the local government chairmen. But because, as a result of the court order, he had to brought them back.
Okay. So the local government chairmen were brought back in Benue?
Yes.
Okay, you cited Kano. Can I understand what really transpired in Kano State?
You see, Kano, the present administration of Kano today is NNPP, the political party that owns the state, is New Nigerian People's Party. And the NNPP took over power from APC. And the council chairmen were APC product. So it is expected that when the NNPP came on board, it is expected that he will suspend the local government chairman, but he didn't. He just retained them and maintained them and carried them along. Why? Because they are having the mandate of their people at the grassroots or at the local government.
Okay, so now you are saying Benue State local government chairmen have been returned
as a result of court order.
Okay. Okay, now I want us to look at the account. While you were speaking earlier, you talked of the account and approval for contracts. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, now, if in case there is no cordiality, let's say the local government chairmen are brought back to office, maybe through court order, like the case in Benue, how do you think this state will fare regarding relationship if one needs to meet the other for approval or the account is run by both? Tell me about the account of the local government and how they can source or take out funds to run activities or projects in their local government, and how this relationship will affect it in case they have said maybe from court to return to office.
Okay, Honorable, you'll be doing that in 2 or 3 minutes because our time won't let us go that deep.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. You see, no, I said the ideal situation is that there should be a kind of cordiality between the state and the local government. Absent of that will result to that, you see, for you to have the total control of your resources at the local government, you can't get it as a result of that joint account that I have sent because of lack of autonomy in the local government. You see, the council chairman might even end up having only paying salaries and giving a token to run the activities of their various offices, and that's all. But they cannot execute projects. But if given that opportunity, if the cordiality is there, you understand, they will now seek for approval from state and they will be granted. But if that cordiality is not on ground, they will not be given that approval to execute their project. Because every chairman, as you can see them in their various local government, must have passed through electoral process. You must go to the people, canvassing for votes, you understand, and you make promises. So all these things that has to do with politics, they must have to be accommodating, in the sense that you cannot just be a local government chairman, you have making promises here and there. So that promises, at least it's expected that maybe after graduating from, or after your tenure, when you go back to your people, people will respect you more. But once, if you happens to be a chairman and you didn't execute project, you didn't have that control, total control of the fund available in the local government, you might end up wasting your time, resources, and energy.
Okay, Honorable, maybe in a minute or thereabouts, you know, the police intervention in this whole case of sealing 17 local governments, actually it is to maintain law and order. Yes, of course. And on the plateau, we know we have been battling with the issues of relative peace. It's one that we would really not want to have anything to, you know, bring it up again. And so what would you say the role of the police? Do you think police now ordering that the 17 local government secretariats be unsealed, do you think their job is over as regards to making sure peace is sustained on the plateau?
You see, the issue of security is almost everybody's responsibility, not only the police. Police alone cannot shoulder that responsibility. All hands must be on deck. So it is expected that the traditional rulers, our political players, political parties, teaming supporters of our religious leaders should at least come up together and assist the police in discharging their duties, because we are enjoying peace on the plateau. You see, because anything that will bring about political instability or political unrest on the plateau will not go well to us and to our younger generation.
Okay. If not because of the call for an indefinite strike, today the 17 local governments, of course, would have been unsealed, which, of course, we may say has been unsealed, except for the strike. Now, do you think it's a perfect time, you know, to still have peace, even though?
No, peace is necessary, because without peace, you cannot go to your office. Without peace, you cannot go to farm. Without peace, you cannot go to the markets and do your businesses. So we need peace at this material point in time. And the issue of unsealing the local government is the decision taken by the police is unbiased. There's no any kind of partiality, because if had they known that anything, any attempt by them to unseal the local government will create problem, I don't think they will go about doing it.
So you're in support?
Yes.
That they unseal it even today?
Yes, because you see, it's not only the chairman and their councillors. Even the staff themselves are not going to the office to do their work. It affects not only the politician or the political structure in the local government, but also the staff of the local government.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable, for sharing your thoughts on this issue. At this point, we will not take a very long time in here for this. It's about time for us to go on the short break, and when we come back, we will continue with that segment, which it gives our listener and our viewer ample of the time to call us and also share their thoughts on all the issues that we have in the studio. So thank you. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Duniyar Wasanni.
Duniyar Wasanni.
Duniyar Wasanni Unity TV. Shirin Mazan Jiya. Mazan Jiya.
1982.
Mazan Jiya.
Allah ko matsoraci ba shi zama gwani kowa ne.
Duka.
Me ya bambanta rayuwar da na yanzu?
Yanzu ne abin ya ɓaci.
Yanzu abin ya ɓaci.
Shekara 80
tarihi.
Shirin Mazan Jiya. Shirin Mazan Jiya na nan tafi a tashar Unity TV.
A duk lokacin da kake tare da wani ko wata aboki ne, ƙawa ce, 'yar uwa ko ɗan uwa ko ma dai wane ne da kake tare da shi, ka rinka yawan zama kana tunanin shin a zamantakewar ku akwai wani alfanu da take ƙara maka ko kuma ke take ƙara miki? Idan babu, ya kamata ka sauya aboki ko ƙawa. Idan kuma akwai, ya kamata ka rike wannan abokin domin shine asalin mutumin da ya kamata ka yi rayuwa da shi. Domin yana da kyau a koda yaushe mu rinka tunanin wasu irin mutane ya kamata mu rinka alaka da su.
Unity TV.
Ba komai ake nema kuma a samu ba a lokacin da ake neman shi. Mu sani akwai jarabawa wanda a lokuta da dama take mana katanga tsakaninmu da burukan ranmu. Saboda haka ya kamata mu rinka mika lamuranmu ga mahaliccinmu domin samun mafaka, don hakan ita kadai ce hanya mai bullewa a gare mu.
Unity TV.
Is Honorable Bala Muazu Jingir, and we've been looking at issues that concerns local government, and particularly on the plateau, issues surrounding the sealing and the opening of the 17 local government secretariats on the plateau. And Danjuma Samuel Abo is in the studio. My very own captain and conductor, whatever name you call it. Together, we've been doing this. And so it is that time for you to call and then make your input. If you want to be a part of this conversation, you just go on our Facebook page, Unity Radio FM/TV Jaws. And if you want to call the studio line, it's 070-3235-3315. You would be with us live. And of course, remember, on this platform, we don't take comments that get towards disrupting the relative peace being enjoyed on the plateau. What we promote here, our vision is for peaceful coexistence. And so, like we've been doing it with you, I want to bet that you will continue in that line. And of course, again, no need to confront anyone in the studio or even our guest. And so, even so, comments made on this platform, they are not in any way the standpoint or position of Unity 93.3 FM. And so, let's begin. At this point, we may pick your call. Just call us 070-3235-3315. Hello, good morning. It's morning already.
Hello, good morning. Okay. This is Yakubu Sale calling from Nefazaria Road.
Yakubu Sale, it's good to have you. You have a minute, please.
Good morning, the guests in the house.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
Honestly speaking, the guests have spoken very well.
All right.
The issue of local government, my own advice is that the relevant authorities should try their best to make sure that the local government have their autonomy, so that at least they will do something reasonable.
All right. Yeah.
And this issue of somebody, removing the elected local government chairman because maybe that was done to him or something like that, I think it's high time that we should try our best to make sure that we are trying to to make sure that the masses have enjoyed democracy, not to come and intimidate somebody and either cause problem or something like that.
All right, thank you.
So, and honestly speaking, I want to advise the government and the local government to know that they are serving the masses. So they should try and make the relationship very well so that at least we enjoy the democracy. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Oh, you're welcome, Yakubu Saleh. You called to emphasize on the need for the government to look into issues that will help promote to improve the living standard of Nigerians and, of course, Plateau people. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
It's good to have you. Who's on the line this morning?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Sadiq Umar. I'm from Chichi and Chijungsho.
Sadiq Kumar, it's good to have you. You have a minute, please.
Yes, I will comment your guest. He has spoken very, very well.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, the issue of this local government is very, very unfortunate that we are getting it wrong.
Okay.
And the importance of local government, I think, is very, very rare. Because the government is the government at the grassroots. It's the only government that local people are feeling it. Okay. But seeing that the local government do not have its own autonomy, that's why we get it wrong when it comes to the leadership. You see, when we look at the politics of some states, we cannot compare it with the Plateau state. Like, for example, now in Plateau state, we cannot say that the governor has done wrong by the issue of the local government, because it's not even the governor, it's the House of Assembly that brought out an allegation upon the local government. And when we look at it again, in the past administration, that the administration of someone along that thing that have happened, that to tell you that the Plateau state politics have to be in a good manner that will service the people. But if not, if we are going to say that we are going to be in the step of revenge, I think we cannot get it right at our local government. So we are calling on this local government caretaker committee and the chairman, since the police have already opened the local secretariat, they should allow them to so that they can start work. No matter how the governor is with a good policy, it cannot be implemented if the local government is not functioning the way it's supposed to be. So I don't think that the local government chairman that have been removed or have been suspended, they should just go to court. Anything that the court have said, that's what they will do. But to carry the law in their hand is not what that is supported. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And from this one is from our SMS. Good morning, Kubi Danjuma and the guest in the house. It's unfortunate that our politicians don't want to do the right thing. Just because the former governor did something, the present governor is also doing that, even though it's wrong. It's sad that when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. I think the union of the local government employees are concerned about the welfare and security of the workers based on the release by the police. Please, the right thing should be done to allow the workers to resume work immediately. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. God bless Unity FM and Nigeria. Christy Izang from Rukuba Road. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. I say amen to that.
It's Kamal from Lagos.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. You see, to me, I see we have only 2 tiers of government in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah, because what is happening to local government in the own country is not acceptable.
Okay.
And for development to come, you know, the grassroots, development will come from the grassroots. And this is the grassroots, this local government. Why can a person spend his time, his money, everything, to get people's mandate, and at the end of the day, who was made against it? Because this, to me, is a coup. So I think there's no need for any local government election again. So governments should just continue appointing whoever they want.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much. In case you want to send in your SMS, you just do that through 0808478999 for SMS alone. I will pick a couple of more calls and then we'll let Danjuma, who is ready for your comments on Facebook.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kulbi.
Good morning. It's good to have you already. Who's on the line?
My name is Usman Big Seven, the ambassador of peace. I'm calling from ZINARIYA.
Oh my, you kick some smiles.
Thank you for giving us this great opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Actually, regarding the issue of our 17 local government, to me, we should respect what court said.
Okay.
Some people are saying the past government did wrong by refusing to accept what court says. But to make a mistake is a mistake, but to repeat a mistake is not a mistake.
Wow.
The big problem now is both the past and the present governor, they are lawyers.
Okay.
Why are they doing this kind of thing? For God's sake. We are loving peace. We are all lover of peace in Plateau State. We don't want a situation whereby, as we are enjoying peace now, something to come and escalate simply because of this issue of court. We should love one another. When two elephants fight, it is the grass that will suffer. God bless you people. Have a nice day. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. To make a mistake is a mistake, he said, right? But to repeat a mistake, oh, why? You can complete that for me. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. You may need to speak up, please.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, please. Speak up. Hello? Oh, you may need to call us back on 0703235315 and speak up, please. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Who's on the line?
So, my name is Azana. I'm calling from Kadede.
All right, it's good to have you. A minute, please.
Okay, it's my pleasure to have you in the studio.
All right, you're welcome.
Indeed, there are so many amendments in Nigeria. Because especially by this time of the high price of the expensive state of commodities. So if this is the issue that government is supposed to look on this, because actually Nigeria still they are in one situation. So I hope the president of Nigeria should be look and do something about. So that is my take.
Thank you very much. Our callers, just stay tuned and just we'll let Danjuma to read all the comments that you have sent through our Facebook page. Danjuma.
All right. As I normally say, dear listener and dear viewer, without you, there's no us. We appreciate your participation in Unity Train. I'll take a few comments here. We have Jayman Jameson who says, good morning, Unity FM/TV. Jos, happy with you. Watching from Azare, Bauchi, Nigeria. Dan Smart Dedan Timothy says, good morning, Unity Radio. Our appreciation goes to the following: Umar Yusuf, Mufinsi, Manjo Muhammadu, Mama Aliyu, Shamsu Kabir, Abdullahi Dan Iyan Gangare, Aminu Abdullahi Shaibu, Al-Amin Nation, Sadi Lawan, Jamilu ZM Fari, Sani Ado, Dija Adam, Yaron Jasawa, Young Jonah, Smart Dedan Timothy, Onyx Generals Dabian, Jayman Jameson, Mohammed Nazifi, Salisu, Mariam Dasukina Kande, Yusuf Lawan Sani, Saidu Nababa. For now, I think that's the much I can take from the Facebook page.
All right. Thank you, Janjuma, for reading that. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Kulbi. Good morning, Janjuma. Good morning, the guests in the house.
Thank you very much.
Ambassador Abdullahi Roy Kuboy calling from Gangari.
Yes, Peace Ambassador, you have a minute there.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, what bothers me is that it's like what the government at the death of the self-president. Because those days, the former governor did this, and he's a lawyer, and this time around, this former governor is a lawyer, and he did this. You understand?
Yes.
And what bothers me is that police will still this, court will still do this, but they will not do. Somebody is saying that it's just a House of Assembly that you suspend them, do this, do that. Who assigned them to do that? We need peace. If you are a peace participator, if you are a peace ambassador, you give peace thanks to rain. Consider connected government. They are labor, they are NAPP, and the chairman, they are in ANPP. It's just a matter of 1 year. What 1 year will do for you? It's just a matter of time. And yet, let's peace to reign, please and please. Let's obey the rules and regulations of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are not doing that. We need peace. We don't want any problem. Please and please. Anybody that will copy for us, believe me, you will not forget him. I'm telling you. Because we, the person with disability, if this issue is happening, we are suffering. Because it's happening to see person with disability with merchant for causing trouble.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Please let's obey the rules and regulations of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's just a matter of time. One day we are not here. Today we are here. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. Emphasizing on life is too short to be that unhelpful to your neighbor. That's what Peace Ambassador just said. Hello, good morning. Okay, you may need to speak up. You have a minute, please. Yes.
You see, these females, they have been elected with appointed as no reason that it can be impeached. So I'm not in support of this concealment. Because the government knows what it has been doing, that is why it has been the president. So I'm not in support.
Okay, thank you.
And the issue of taking...
I think we lost that. In case you want to be a part, 0703223533315. That's the line to join us live in the studios. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning. Hello, we can hear you. Good morning. Okay, you may need to call us back. Danjuma, please.
Yeah, from the Facebook page. Before then, I would like to appreciate our ardent follower and listener, Abdullahi Rocky Boy. He's not always calling, he's advocating for the persons with disability. I really appreciate him. He's one of our energizers, I must say. From Facebook, we have this comment from Aminu Abdullahi Shuaibu. Good morning, Unity FM radio station. Actually, you are doing a great job. Keep it up.
All right, we'll keep it up by picking up. We will not keep it up alone. We'll keep it up with our callers. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This
How are you?
This is calling from Bochi.
Oh, mine. Amen.
Good morning. God continue to bless you, sir.
Amen. Adeumi.
You see, Mr. Kubi, your guest has spoken my mind.
Oh,
you
my.
see, that cordiality is what we wanted. Let there be cordial relationship between the state and local government. Because if you feel what happened earlier, if you feel what happened to you before, you want to capitalize on it, then you never move forward.
Okay.
It is high time the governor be carry everybody along. Let always on the plateau be our brothers keeper, because when you look at other states, they are moving on with a lot of things. People have been affected in the 17 local government because of stealing of the
local government secretariat, yes.
You see, and at least it's uncalled for. It's high time that at least it's just peace we want. We always want peace. And we love the governor. We love every 17 local government. Don't capitalize on what has happened before to build on tomorrow. Please, let there just be cordiality among them. That's just the major thing we wanted, because Plateau State is lagging behind, and we just want to work together to make Plateau State exceptional. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. We may pick one or more, and then we'll let our guest to begin to respond to some of this.
I also have a question for him before he responds.
Yes. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. We can hear you. We lost that. Well, another one. Good morning. It's unfortunate. Please, if you take a step to call us, make sure you're not that close to your radio set. It can interfere, and that won't be a good one for us in terms of sound, please. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Morning, we can hear you. You're welcome. Hello? Oh, I guess we're having some challenges somewhere. I don't know, but okay, the question, Danjuma.
Honorable, I'm sure the House of Assembly, as constitution mandates, have a role to play. What can you say regarding these actions that have taken place? The suspension of the local government chairman, the bringing in of transition committees. What role has the House of Assembly played, and where do you place it?
Okay, in a minute, please.
Okay, you see, as a matter of fact, the ideal situation is that for the fact that there is a checks by the State Assembly over the local government, does not mean that you just give a recommendation or a kind of resolution to the governor mandating him to suspend the local government chairman. The ideal situation is that there are committees in the House. We have the chairman committee on local government and chieftaincy affairs, committee on finance and things like that. It is that committee that will be constituted. Since this is a special case, that they observed that there was a kind of misappropriation of funds in the local government, they should at least constitute an ad hoc committee that will invite those chairmen, you understand, be investigating them one after the other. There and then they will know where the problems lies, and they can take a decision that will be generally acceptable by the people of the state.
Okay, Honorable, very quickly, you need to respond in 5 or thereabout minutes now. Now, is it possible to have a cordial relationship between a government, a PDP government, and APC local government chairman? Is it possible?
It's possible.
Okay.
Very possible.
How?
You see, they are all serving people. You see, there is no governor that doesn't have a constituency. There is no governor that doesn't have a local government. There is no any local chairman, governor that doesn't have a ward. So also the chairman, he has his local government, he has his ward, he also has his polling units. So they are serving the same purpose. All their actions is geared towards service to humanity. So if they can come up together, irrespective of their political parties or political affiliation, and focus on the yearning and aspiration of their people, things will go better, and they will have that kind of cordiality. Okay. But in a situation whereby there is a kind of segregation or a kind of differences that exist because of from this party or from that party, once if we are talking of governance, we are not talking of politics now. The time of politics is over. The time for governance is now. So let's come and agree that yes, let's serve our people to the best of our ability and knowledge.
All right. Thank you. This one is from an XMS here. Says, good morning, could be Shaibu, Danjuma, and Honorable. Please, Honorable, we need local government their right, and let national INEC conduct their election. No more state INEC, and make things easy for others, and do not make them hard, and calm them, and do not drive them away. This one is life is for the living. Hassan Garba. Hassan, thank you for your take there. Now, don't you think it would be very frustrating to have a PDP governor and then APC local government chairman? Don't you think the policies at the state level will be frustrated at some point?
You see, I want to make a reference with Abdullahi Rokiboy, the ambassador of peace, that 1 year is just by the corner. If you can exercise patience, it will come and pass. So this is how God made it to be, that we are going to serve our people at the same time. So if you are from PDP, I am from APC, and we come on board to serve our people as a result of the mandate given to us by our people, it is expected that we should agree and put our heads together so that we look at our people, because if we are fighting, the side effect will go on our people. It is only our people that will feel the impact of our fight, and of which it will not even go well. Instead of us to concentrate and look at our people at the grass, because people are now suffering. People are now dying because of hunger and starvation. Is understand, and it is the government that has to at least intervene in order to at least rescue all these kind of problems that we are having at the grassroots level. We just concentrated on fighting each other, which is very, very, very bad.
All right, we concentrate on fighting each other, and then most of our callers, then Juma, says, if two elephants or two giants fight, it's the grass. But what should the grass do in a situation like this? Should the grass just lie low and then get to suffer it all the time? And we're rounding up in a minute. You have a word to conclude on this?
Yes. You see, on the issue of unsealing the local government
secretariat,
you see, it is not everything that the security agencies that will come out and say to the public. There are so many confidentialities that you don't know to expose it. One. Two, when the local government and state are fighting, it is the masses that suffers. So I want to advise that the governor, as the head of the executive in the state, should at least call these people and address this problem so that the masses will at least feel the impact of their kind of reconciliation.
Oh, thank you very much.
The last but not the least, you see, on the issue of Nolge, you see, in every problem there is always a solution. There is no problem that has that has no solution.
Okay.
I want to at least advise that the leadership of Nolge in the state, that at least they should lodge their complaints, and so that the problem should be addressed amicably, without any tears or.
Thank you.
So that
very much.
Yes, that went to elephant fights.
Thank you, Benjamin. Any final word, please?
Yeah, we'll be following the trend of events as the issue of the local government secretariat is concerned. We'll follow up with the Secretary of the Government of the State, Architect Samuel Jato, and we'll also speak with the police PPRO for the sealing and unsealing of the secretariat, and we assure you, dear listener and viewer, that will keep you up to speed with the happening in the local governments.
Oh, thank you very much, Danjuma, for being in the studio. Thank you for doing a great job there. And of course, our guest, Honorable Bala Mazu Jingir, thank you. It's good to have you already. And on this, we've come to the end of today's edition. Our listener and of course our viewer, it's so lovely to have you with us, and tomorrow is going to be another beautiful day. Everyone who made it possible for these productions and this edition to be a success, we appreciate. Tomorrow is another beautiful day, but stay tuned to Unity FM and TV for other interesting editions of programs. Thank you.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion?
Ka sani, na sani, kin sani, mun sani baki ɗaya cewa yanzu rayuwa ta canza. Komai na rayuwa ya ƙara tashin goron zafi, musamman farashin kayayyakin masarufi. Saboda haka dole sai mun yi haƙuri da junanmu. Kai mai gida ka kyautata, ke kuma uwar gida ki haƙuri. Ba lallai dole sai an ci abinci da nama ba. Idan har Allah ya hore an iya samun hatsin ma da za a ci ciki ya tashi, to a ci. Lokaci ne ya zo. In aka yi haƙuri wata sai labari. Ba gidanka ne kaɗai ake matsin rayuwa ba. Wallahi gidaje da yawa ma kafi su. Saboda haka mu kasance masu godiya Allah. Mata mu yi haƙuri. Yanzu ne mazajen mu suke buƙatar mu ƙara musu ƙarfin gwiwa, mu fahimce su. Mu kuma maza mu ma mu gane cewa mata suna haƙuri, mu dinga musu adalci. Yau in baka samu ba gobe ka samu, ya nuna a gidanka cewar an samu. Ba wai ka maki abinka ka fita ka ci mai daɗi, su a gida ka basu da wahala ba. Allah ka fitar da mu daga cikin wannan hali.
Unity TV.
Domin warware zare da abawa, haɗa da samun ingantaccen sharhi daga masana game da batutuwan da suka shafi al'ummar Najeriya kai tsaye ta ɓangarori mabambanta da suka haɗa da mulki.
Wani tsari ya tanadar da mutum